Erica, welcome back to Maniacal Reader. Today I'm going to show you my favorite books of 2016. Now last year when I did my favorites video, I had 12 favorites that I ranked from least favorite to most favorite. I found that it was too hard to pick favorites this year since the majority of the books I read were new adult romances. This year I only have 7 choices and it was too hard for me to rank them between my least favorite to my most favorite. So for this year, my favorites are in no particular order. The first book that was one of my favorites this year was The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is a new adult romance book. It follows the romance between 2 characters named Garrett Graham and his romance with a girl named Hannah Wells. Garrett Graham is captain of the hockey team at Briar University, and he's known as the big man on campus. He's had a lot of relationships with girls, but not any relationships that have had any significant impact on him. And he comes across Hannah Wells in one of his classes that he's failing. He desperately needs a tutor in order to pass the class, so Hannah agrees to become his tutor. Their tutoring relationship is all good, but soon their relationship progresses into something more. I really liked getting to know Garrett Graham and Hannah Wells. This series has definitely stuck with me all year long. Elle Kennedy definitely has a knack of creating good romances with emotional depth, and I enjoyed getting to know the backstory of Garrett Graham since he's the son of a famous hockey player that was in the NHL and he wants to follow in his father's footsteps. But Garrett has sort of a conflictual relationship with his father. Hannah comes from a small town and she's trying to escape something bad that happened to her in her past. So she's had a fresh start at Briar University, but for some reason her past tended to follow her there. So she's working to overcome her past and have a better relationship with her parents because of what happened to her. I really liked the romance between these 2 characters. It was emotional as well as hot, so I liked the balance between those 2 elements in their relationship. I also enjoyed getting to know some of the side characters in this series, since we also do get to know some of Garrett Graham's other hockey friends. This is the first book in the off-campus series, and each book in this series follows the story of one of Garrett's roommates and their relationship with some girl. The Deal happens to be my favorite in this series, but I'm using this book to represent all of the books in the series. They are all really good. I believe I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I think I gave the other books in the series no less than 4 stars. They're all really good. The next book I wanted to show you is The Probability of Violet and Luke. This is one of the books in the Coincidence series by Jessica Sorensen. This is a new adult series, and we know Luke as the best friend of Caden Owens, a previous character in the series, and Violet happens to be the roommate of Callie, and Callie is the girlfriend of Caden Owens. But Luke and Violet are my favorite couple in this series. They just seem to have more depth to them and a lot more serious emotional issues going on, so that's why I gravitated towards this couple in the series. Luke has a problem with gambling, and he also has a bit of a drinking problem. But Violet also has a tortured past because her parents were murdered when she was a little girl, so she's tried really hard to overcome that. But her parents' death and what happened as a result of that really still haunt her. Through her romance with Luke, she eventually overcomes all of those issues. I really like the romance between these 2 characters. Luke is a nice guy who really cares about Violet, but I would say Violet is the more damaged one of these 2. I really enjoyed exploring her journey and her overcoming her struggles. The reason why I chose this book specifically is because this book in the series really explores the conflict of their relationship. This is where the majority of the plot and story happens in their relationship. I believe I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It was a really incredible book, and I really liked the Coincidence series in general. It's definitely one that I would read again. The next book I have here is Barely Breathing by Rebecca Donovan. This is the second book in a YA contemporary trilogy, and it follows the romance of a girl named Emma and her romance with a guy named Evan. I read this book in December and absolutely loved it. Emma comes from an abusive home. She is very quiet and keeps to herself because she doesn't want anyone to know what's truly happening in her life. But she does have a best friend, Sarah, who she can count on, and Sarah is the only one who knows what truly happens in her life. That is, until she comes across this new guy at school named Evan, and her and Evan have a romance together. The reason why I chose this book is because this is where the majority of the plot and story happens in this book, and this is my favorite book in the trilogy. And it's really one of my most favorite books in the year because until this point, I didn't really experience a YA contemporary romance that had such a slow burn and such a slow development in terms of the relationship. I also liked all of the twists and turns that occurred in this trilogy. There were some things that I wasn't expecting. I really enjoyed this book because this book definitely explores more of the tension in Emma and Evan's relationship. I also enjoyed the side relationships that the main character explores with other characters in this book. Sometimes in YA contemporary, we don't really get a full exploration of side relationships, and I think this book was a strength of that. The next book I have here is Full Tilt by Emma Scott. This is another new adult romance book, and I've mentioned this in my December wrap-up and Christmas book haul, so I won't go into too much detail here, but I did love this book. The reason why I put this on my favorites list is because I have never been so emotionally affected by a book before. I haven't been affected by a book that takes us on such an emotional roller coaster of the highs and lows of romance and just the highs and lows of life in general. I really liked the romance of Casey in this book and her romance with a guy named Jonah. This book was just perfection, and if you're really looking for a new adult romance with incredible depth, this is one you definitely have to pick up. I also wanted to include All In. This is the sequel to Full Tilt. This explores Casey's relationship with Jonah's brother, Theo, in this book. I really enjoyed this book and how Casey overcame the struggle of her grief over Jonah's death and just the strength of her character that it took in finding someone to love again. And I loved the push and pull of Theo and Casey's romance. They weren't sure if they should be together because Casey was in a relationship with Jonah first. Each of them sort of fought their relationship in the beginning, but as the story went on, they realized that they have true feelings for each other, and maybe it was okay for them to find love again. This book was also an emotional ride, and I enjoyed this book just a little bit more. Yes, I loved Jonah, but I also loved Theo in this book. My next favorite book in 2016 was When I'm Gone by Abby Glines. This is one of the books in her Rosemary Beach series. This book follows a guy named Mace and his romance with a girl named Reese. Mace is the brother of another character from the Rosemary Beach series named Harlow, and Reese is the maid of the house that belongs to Mace's father in Rosemary Beach. Mace meets Reese on the first day that he comes back to Rosemary Beach in order to visit his sister. And from the beginning of the book, Mace and Reese become friends, but their relationship develops into something more. Reese has a problematic past. She never really was given a chance in school when she was younger, so she never had a chance to learn the things that she was supposed to be learning. As a result, she has dyslexia, and she struggles with this problem. But through Mace's friendship, he helps her with this problem, and soon their relationship progresses into something more. I really liked the romance between these two characters. I really liked that it was a genuine romance, and Mace really cared for Reese and really cared to help her reach her full potential. I also liked the slow burning of his romance in this book. This romance developed in a way that I think all romances should develop, so I really liked how the romance was built. I believe I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed reading this book, and I love the Rosemary Beach series in general. I'm glad that I discovered it this year and gave Abby Glines a shot. And the last book I have on this list is Addicted After All by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This book series follows the relationship between Lily and Lo. Lily is addicted to sex while Lo is addicted to booze, and the Addicted series explores their relationship. But there's also a spin-off series called the Calloway Sisters series that follows the other romances of Lily's sisters. There's such a strong connection between these 6 friends, and they really feel like family. They'll do anything for each other, and they'll experience all kinds of things in their life together. The reason why I chose this book is because Lily and Lo are my favorite couple in this series, and this book concludes their story as a couple and everything that they've overcome. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I really liked the conclusion to their story. It was fantastic. You've definitely seen me talk about this series a lot on my channel. It's definitely one that I'll always remember. The characters are so well developed in this series. They actually feel like friends to me, and I like everything that these 6 friends experience in their lives and just the friendship bonds that they have. Since I love the Addicted series so much, I just couldn't include my favorite in the series. I felt I should also mention Hothouse Flower. This is one of the books in the Calloway Sisters spin-off series, and this is the first book that explores Daisy and Reich's romance. I really liked the romance and connection in between these two. This romance has been a long time coming, since Reich is an older character, and at the beginning of the series, Daisy is a younger teenager. They've had feelings for each other for many years, and this is the book where those feelings definitely come to fruition. Daisy and Reich are my second favorite couple in this series. I love everything that they experience as well. Those are all of my favorite books that I read in 2016. Comment down below and tell me what your favorite books of 2016 were. I'd love to know. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!